The annual sales totals continue to rise, and it's a big help from the 2025 models rolling in. And I really can't wait for the 25 CX-50 Hybrid to arrive. More car vids. More car vids. What's up, everybody? I'm Jonathan Sewell Sales at Mitchell Mazda on the Boulevard in Enterprise, Alabama. And in this edition of Mazda News Update, we're talking about the September 2024 U.S. sales results. Although they weren't as big as some months in the past, every little bit helps, and we're going to look at some numbers of vehicles as we're 3/4 through the biggest year in sales ever for the U.S. and Mazda. The 2025 CX-50 Hybrid is coming soon. If you'll notice on your local Mazda dealer's website, every one of us received one CX-50 Hybrid last week, and this week there's more allocation depending on what you've earned. So looking forward to seeing some other hybrids available. We did receive a premium in polymetal gray, and so it's exciting to see the new features. Now let's jump into September's numbers. As I mentioned in the intro, the overall total was a little bit less than what we've been looking at over the last several months. However, every little bit helps as we progress towards that big number of the best ever in Mazda US history. And September's totals in the U.S. were 29,841, so 29,841. This was still an increase year over year, so bigger than September of 2023, and that brings our year-to-date total of 313,452. Big numbers, and we'll compare that with where we were last year in just a minute when we break down the individual numbers. Of course, CPO sales were pretty flat year over year at 5,608. Our neighbors to the north, Mazda Canada, with a big month of 6,745, which was a pretty hefty increase year over year. Our neighbors to the south, Mazda Motor de Mexico, with 7,760, which is also an increase. So everyone can benefit from having more vehicles available, especially in CX-30 and CX-50 that are respectively made in Mexico and the U.S. So more availability, more numbers. And you know what that means. Congratulations to all of you new and certified Mazda owners. Thank you for your continued business and increasing the Mazda passion of our local area here in Mazda North America. Please comment down below if you purchased a new vehicle in September so that we can celebrate you and give you some hearts. A couple of milestones to mention or best evers. Well, first off, this September was the second best ever in Mazda history in the U.S., the 29,841. And we had the best ever sales of CX-70, as we expect, with those still being relatively new in monthly sales. So the best ever, and we'll talk about those totals here shortly. And the best September for CX-50 and CX-90. So we're excited that even though this wasn't such a big month, all total, there were some big individual lines. And like I said, every little bit helps. And we'll break down some more of those numbers as we get started with the September sales results in the U.S. And of course, we're going to start with the Mazda 3. The Mazda 3 had 2,621 total sales, which is a breakdown of 1,440 sedan and 1,181 hatchback. This was down less than 1% compared to 2023 in total. The sedan was down greatest, and the hatchback was actually up 10%. So that's just a shift in production. Mazda 6, gone. MX-5 Miata, 545 sales, down from last year, so still facing a little bit less production, and I think they're just torn on whether to build more crossovers or a little bit of Miatas, so their crossovers are winning out right now. Those numbers broke down to 284, soft tops 261 RFs. CX-3, gone. CX-30 with 5,739, and although not the best ever September, it's still on track for the best ever year, and we're getting pretty close, probably just 1 month away from matching the entire total of 2023. Current year to date is 73,580, and last year totaled at 77,000. So we're really close in CX-30, and remember, this is the one that Mazda says is going to take the reins as the #1 selling Mazda in the US over the next couple of years. CX-5 with 8,524, down year over year in double-digit percentage. And of course, as you expect, as we're talking about production shifting overseas, availability of production shifting overseas, so the CX-5 numbers are slowly decreasing, with more 30s and 50s and 90s and 70s, but specifically the 30s and 50s are starting to take away from the CX-5 by design. They are not expecting CX-5 to continue to put up such large numbers year over year. CX-9, gone. CX-50 with that best ever September of 6,603. And as you would expect with so many best evers and so many CX-50 sales, it has already exceeded the final total of last year by about 14,000. So it's at 58,515 through 3/4 of the way through 2024, and has already accomplished more sales than the entirety of last year. MX-30's gone. CX-70 with its best ever total so far, as we're 3 months in, 4 months in, so 1,560 units of CX-70, and I do expect continued growth, especially as the standard turbo vehicles still begin to arrive, and that lower price option I think a lot of people will jump on board for. CX-90 with the best September at 4,249. Last year's total, or the current year to date, between the CX-9 and the CX-90 totaled about 35,000. We are at 38,562 in just CX-90. So you can see how the CX-90 is going to do more and going to do better than just CX-9, or even when there was split availability last year, and it's already exceeded that. So we're headed in the right direction with CX-90. And that brings the total in cars to 3,166, total in trucks to 26,675, for that grand total of 29,841. Again, congratulations to all of you new Mazda owners. Thank you so much for your business, and we look forward to getting to know you better at the local dealerships, and of course spreading all of our combined Mazda passion to more prospective drivers and new owners. And if you have any questions or comments on anything we've talked about here, drop them down below, or you can text me at 334-718-0504. And I can't wait for CX-50 Hybrid, and I'll be here on the boulevard listening for all the latest Mazda news, and I'll see you on the next one.